Hi. Hello, John. How are you today?
I'm pretty excellent. What about you?
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty good. Yeah, raring to go for the day. The end of your day, obviously. The beginning of mine.
I'm always amazed with technology, that the fact that we can talk, we're on opposite sides of the world, me in Australia and you in UK. It's
I know
amazing.
it. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this morning, I know we normally just go with the flow, but it's strange. I woke up on my little saying of forever learning, always learning, forever evolving. And then about 5 minutes later, I saw your weekly email,
Oh,
and I
okay.
thought, oh wow, here we go again, synchronicity.
Oh,
And
synchronicity.
yeah, and I
I
thought,
live
well,
a
perhaps we
life of
could talk about
synchronicity.
your little email because on Sunday, the 1st of May, you've got a little Zoom coming up that everybody could join in. So I thought perhaps we could talk about your your little post this morning and Sunday. That'd be good, I think.
Yeah, well, this will be the 9th annual Mindfulness Day coming up on Sunday. And this year I thought, because we don't usually have a topic, we leave it pretty open. We can cover anything. But I suggested a topic this year, mindful practice as a spiritual practice, because that's what it is. A true mindful practice is a spiritual practice when you get right down to it. So that's what we're going to be kind of focusing on a little bit, and we can get a lot of different people's point of view on that, their own ideas, because our spiritual journey, well, as you read in my email, I talked about not really getting hooked on beliefs, with any single book or religion or method or anything else, but be open to all of them, because every religion and every culture sure has something to offer. There's heaps of wisdom there. So we shouldn't limit ourselves to just one, but be open to all of them, and make our journey more of a personal thing, because our greatest gift is our uniqueness. That's for sure. We're all totally different. So for me, mindful practice is a spiritual practice, because, as you know, the way I teach mindful practice is be mindful, which is an instruction from our heart. And it's our heart which is connected to our source energy, to God, to the universe, whatever you want to call it. It's all about our heart. So we use the instruction from our heart, be mindful, and then we allow that to trigger a pause. Just a few seconds is all it takes. And in that pause, we connect. We connect with where we are using our 5 senses. We connect with who we're with full presence. And we connect with our source, with God, the universe, whatever you like to call it. And that way, we start to form a relationship with source, with God. And it's vital. It changed my life, that's for sure, when I started, when I had my spiritual awakening, which will be 25 years ago this year. And it's been an amazing daily journey every morning. I connect with soul. That's how I like to start the day. What are we doing today, soul? SOL, it's an ancient Roman word for the sun. What are we doing today, soul? I always ask the question every single day. I've been doing it for 25 years. I didn't always say soul. In the early days, I said Lord, because, first 4 years of my spiritual journey was with the Christian faith. And I studied the Bible intensively. And I now call that my apprenticeship into spirituality. But back in those days, I used to say, what are we doing today, Lord? Well, now opened up because God or Lord or soul has shown me the big picture, and that is that the spirit, or an Aboriginal word is Bayami. Bayami is the Aboriginal word for the great creator. So it doesn't matter really which, especially the ancient cultures we look at, we find a common thread there. So yeah, be open to all of it. Yeah, embrace it, but form a relationship with it. And that's the way to do it. Start the day by asking the question, then pause your mind, because, well, take Christians, for example, not picking on them, or Muslims or anyone else. They pray, but they don't necessarily pause their minds to listen. And honestly, once we start pausing our minds so things drop in for us, then we start having a conversation. We get answers, things drop in our mind, the next step, the highest priority thing to do, and we kind of get on a path, and we're kind of following, if you like, but we're not, of course, because we're still free to do whatever we want. But it's a beautiful thing. So a mindful practice is a true mindful practice, I really believe, includes connecting with source, because it's out of that silence that, it turns on our creativity and certainly our intuition, and it becomes quite powerful. Yeah. And it's a really good skill to hone, and I call it a skill because it's like anything, we need to practice it to get good at it. And honestly, as you are well aware, Jenny, it's all about the practice. And like you said, we learn forever. What was it again?
It was always learning, forever evolving.
Forever evolving, yeah. Always learning, forever evolving. And knowledge is important, of course, but not as important as practice, that's for sure. And even just recently, someone said to me, "Oh, mindfulness. No, it doesn't work for me. I've read books by Eckhart Tolle and Thich Nhat Hanh, and I've learned all about mindfulness, and it really doesn't work for me." And I said, "Oh, well, tell me about your practice." "What practice?" Yeah. Well, practice is more important than the knowledge, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's in that pause. And I didn't do that yesterday with something when I ought to have done. I let my thought come out of my mouth before I had a pause, and I could have done that better. Now, I usually start my mornings with good morning, universe. Good morning, spirit world. Good morning, brand new day. And then I'll have ideas in my head about what sort of things I might be doing today. But I always try and leave myself open, because I know that the universe leads. So my day, and perhaps a lot of people might be able to resonate with this actually. What's that saying? The best laid plans or something, isn't it? When you do that, sometimes it's just completely different. And there's nothing right or wrong about that. It's what it just is. And that's actually being in the moment. If you just allow yourself to go with the flow. So yeah, there's lots of lots of similar practices. And like you said, there are lots of practices across the whole spectrum. You can learn from every, can't get my words out this morning. You can learn from every religion. You can learn from everybody's thought process, and it's what resonates inside your own heart. If it resonates inside your own heart, for you, that's your truth. And perhaps for people, I've been there saying, no, I can't do this, I can't do that, you know, with the mindfulness, with the meditations and things like that. But over the years, I've just learned to just go with the flow. And if I fall asleep, then that's actually part of what I need in that moment in time. And over the years, I've been able to do that better. And some of the meditations now are just beautiful, because I'm able to go with the flow and I'm able to understand that I'm just sitting in that present moment and just allowing come through. But yeah, that's really good. John, who can join on Sunday? Because
Yeah, anyone can join.
yeah,
Although my Zoom account limits it to 100 people.
okay.
And I noticed my Facebook event said 92 are coming, but a lot of people forget and all the rest of it. So yeah, just find Mindfulness Master or Spiritual Master on Facebook, and you'll see the event there, or links to it, or click on the email I just sent out, read that, and there's a link in that to it as well. Yeah. And I've sent out to all the mentors around the world, really, quite a lot. All the mentors that I've trained over the years who are now teaching mindfulness, and you know, hopefully a lot of them will come along as well. So we're going to have some pretty good teachers and mentors, and who knows who'll turn up.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, whoever will be there will be there. Yeah, whoever's meant to be there. I know I've joined in your calls before, and I really love them, and I love the diversity of people that join in. Yeah, it's really good. Really good.
Yeah, I love how, you know, you say live in flow, and that's really what it's all about, because it's our thoughts that get us into trouble at times. I know there was a time when I couldn't meditate because my mind was just way too busy, you know, in my dark years especially. And I call them dark years because I couldn't see. I didn't know the truth about what was happening to me or anything else. I was very naive. But my mind back in those days was like a drunken monkey all over the place. And there would have been no hope of me meditating. It's different these days, of course. You know, I find meditation very easy and do it almost every day. Matter of fact, I probably do it first thing when I wake up, before I ask my question, and last thing when I'm going to sleep, you know, because we don't have to sit cross-legged, you know, like in yoga classes or something, to be able to meditate. We can be laying in bed, or, you know, having a snooze on the lounge or anything. It doesn't matter. We can do walking meditations too, you know, and I do. I love walking my dog and taking everything in, you know, and make it a mindful walk. And another word for mindfulness, of course, is awareness. And when we start living with awareness, not only aware of what's going on around us, but more to the point, what's going on within us, we start becoming aware of that. And we don't necessarily buy into our thoughts. We allow them to flow, because really thoughts are just thoughts. They're not real even. And there's no need to fight with them or act on them or try and make them go away or try and make them stop or try and avoid them. Any of those things is unproductive, because the moment we start doing any of those things, we're actually giving them more power. But when we start accepting our thoughts, no matter how good or bad, whatever turns up, just accept it all and allow it to flow. Just like you said, live in flow and allow our thoughts to flow as well. Don't get stuck, because it's when we start ruminating, certainly on the past, it doesn't do us any good. You know, because our thoughts can lead to feelings, and our feelings can lead to emotions, and they not necessarily good ones.
Mhm.
Yeah. So accept whatever turns up, and it's far better, far better. But it takes practice. You know, it doesn't happen straight away. It takes time for those unhelpful and negative thoughts and thoughts of past trauma to lose their power. But they will, you know, if we practice, if we keep going and pay them no attention, and they show up less often, especially when we get into the habit of going to gratitude like you do. You're grateful every morning, so am I. Gratitude is a powerful practice. So when we notice that unhelpful or negative thought or the past showing up or whatever, when we notice it, and it's all about noticing, which is awareness, then we pause, connect, which is really important. We don't need the instruction after we make it a habit. Be mindful, we tell ourselves from our heart. We only need to do that really until it becomes habit. And then we just pause and connect throughout our day with all the good stuff too, not just when we're struggling, all the time. We pause and connect. And then, especially if we're coming from or just noticed an unhelpful or negative thought, we go to gratitude. It's a great way of training our mind, because if we don't take our mind somewhere positive, like gratitude is positive, then there's every chance our mind will go back to where it was. We don't want that. We're going to train our mind. Yeah. So we go to gratitude and start thinking of a few things we're grateful for. And there's about 1 million things. You never run out of things to be grateful for. That's for sure. You know, just take a look around. No matter where you are or where you're going, there's always things to be grateful for. So, yeah. Live in flow. Very good, Jenny.
Absolutely. There's always things to be grateful for. And I always get reminded of my inspirator, Louise Hay, who would say, acknowledge the negative thoughts, acknowledge them, accept them, because they're a part of what's going on for you at that time, and then thank them for sharing, and then just let them go like a cloud on a summer's day, she says. And I just think, and I used to use that a lot, and I'm finding myself going back to basics a bit again with things like that, because I've been finding quite a few niggly negative things coming in, and have to remind myself to go back to basics and to go back and to change my perception on it and change it into a positive. And I love what you said about when you're walking and everything, because I'll often have a walk down to the beach or along the prom or whatever, or even through the like a valley gardens or past allotments and things. And like you said, there's always something lovely to see, something beautiful to see. And before I know it,
Whoa, your sound stopped, Jenny. I don't know whether you got a loose wire there or something.
all right. Be okay when that airs. If not,
that's better.
If not,
come
then,
good now.
Right. Well, if that doesn't work when it airs to everybody, apologies. And if you heard what you heard, you were meant to, and if you didn't, you didn't.
It wasn't much. You didn't miss much. Yeah. But yeah, beautiful. Yeah, go for those mindful walks and with gratitude. Yeah, makes all the difference. But yeah, mindful practice is a simple thing, but that doesn't mean it's easy. I know when I first started many years ago now, well, the hardest thing for me to do is remember to practice to start with. I'd go 3-4 days and then go, oh, mindfulness, that's right. Get back to that. And then, but once I made a habit, you know, and made it my first priority of the day, actually, because that sets your day up.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you know, it's very routine for me now. And I'm practicing when I'm talking with people, all the time. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, really. It becomes you, you know. We become, well, we're spiritual creatures when you get right down to it, Jenny, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. And once we realize that, you know, that at our core, we are energy, and we do have a connection with source, and we really do need to foster that. It doesn't happen automatically. It's probably not even really natural. But once we sort of, you know, develop relationship with our source, that's what you're really doing. You know, well, anyway, don't take my word for it. I encourage everybody who might be watching this to start practicing and see for yourself. It doesn't take long. You know, when we set our intention, as long as it's based on love and about others, then, you know, the universe starts moving the furniture for us. And we do start living a life of synchronicity, and we start noticing the little things. You know, we might overhear a conversation, or it could be anything. You know, it could be a knock on the door or a phone call, or someone might suggest, oh, go and talk to such and such. That's how the universe works. It uses other people to get to us.
Yes.
You know, I don't know how many times people contact me, and, you know, and part of the conversation is, oh, it was meant to be, you know, or they ran into such and such, said call John, you know, or whatever. And that's just how it is. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It is. Okay, well, I think we're about on our 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something that we normally do. We don't like to go too long, do we? So that people can really get a grasp of what's going on. So I'm going to go and be in the flow now, because I'm going to go and join the beautiful ladies. And I'm going to go in the, I think it was 8.4 degrees last week, North Sea. And I can't say there's much swimming gets done, because it's more fun jumping and bouncing the waves. But I'm really proud of finally doing it after 10 years of living by the sea. It's took me that long to get in, but these lovely ladies are so encouraging and so positive, and it's just such fun. So I'm going to be going off to do that, to join them, and I'd like you enjoy your evening.
Thanks, Jenny. Yeah, sounds like a fun group you're with, so enjoy.
Yeah, thank you.
Righto.
Yeah, thank you. And would you like to close? Would you like to close with your?
Well, I always close by saying, be mindful, pause, connect, and keep doing that until it becomes habit. It's life-changing. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye for now.